a PhD, a BSc, MSc, and PhD, all in economic science, and all these PhDs from the University of Abuja. He's also got additional qualifications from School of Politics, Policy and Governance, and also from the Netford University. His main research areas are innovation, entrepreneurship, finance, climate, and microeconomics, with publications in reputable Nigerian and international journals. He has appeared on national TV and dailies as an expert on the economy. He's a lecturer in economics department of is a lecturer in the economics department at Base University in Jabi, Abuja. He was the head research and ops coordinator at Opolo Global Innovations Limited in Ikoyi. He also worked with the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the research. Then economics and data. Then so many other places. He works in a lot of places. I can tell you, he really is passionate about what he does. He actually even still works with us in LCCI at the moment. He's also a lecturer in our last entrepreneurship program that we run. He's doing very well. He's taking about two of the subjects there. So he's very passionate about what he does. He's also a member of the Nigerian Economic Society, the Royal Economic Society, American Economic Association. He brings with him over 20 years of robust experience in research and the economy, policy, thought leadership, innovation, and he has a passion to succeed in all aspects of human endeavors. So without wasting much of our time, I'm just going to hand over to him and he's going to start the training. So, Doctor, over to you.
All right, thank you for yielding the floor to me. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here, and I shall be discussing basic market research. Without much ado, let me share my slides. Can you see my screen, please?
It's coming up. It says it's not showing your screen. We're not seeing it yet.
Oh, all right.
Okay, yes, it's up now.
All right. All right. Thank you. So before I start, I want to tell you a short story about a friend of mine that made a grievous error by making an investment without first doing his market research. I have this friend, I'm in Abuja now. When I was in Lagos, I had this friend. He's an investor and he wanted to invest. And that time that they were hyping Ghana this, Ghana that. And he had some millions in pounds actually that he wanted to invest. So he went into the Ghanaian market and invested £2 million. £2 million, even at that time, is a lot of money. And considering what we have now, is something in the region of maybe 4 billion naira. So it's a lot of money. He invested into the Ghanaian economy and asked me how much he was able to repatriate when he was leaving the Ghanaian market. Something in the region of £100,000. He lost virtually everything. He lost everything. You can imagine investing £2 million and just coming out with £100,000. He lost everything. So as far as that man is concerned, everything about Ghana is bad. Ghanaian people are bad, the economy, everything. And because he's bitter. So the mistake he made was he did not do his market research. That's a grievous mistake that so many people make. Market research is key. If you do not do your market research, you're just groping. You know what it means to grope in the dark. You are in a room, you don't know where is the switch, you don't know what is in front of you, you don't know what is behind you. So it's like your eyes are covered and you're just groping. That's exactly what he did. Sometimes you do that successfully, and sometimes you may be unlucky and you make a lot of mistakes. You may fall, you may get injured. So please, market research is key for any serious investor, for any serious business person. Don't just go into a market. I'm not saying even foreign investment, even within Nigeria, even within your community. If you want to set up a business, if you want to invest money, please do your market research. Understand fully what you're going into before you even start. It's very important. I'm sure that if that my good friend had done his market research, it could have cost him maybe £10,000 or £20,000, right? But that would have been the only thing he was going to lose. But by just going blindly, by just investing, by counting on the hype instead of the substance, he lost all his life savings. So if you don't do your research, you're just playing a game of chance. There's no difference between that and lottery. There's no difference between that and gambling. You may actually come out on top, make a lot of money, but it's strictly based on luck. Because you have not done any market research, you're not taking action based on the facts. You're just taking action maybe based on sentiments, based on a hype, which is very risky. So it's not wise to do that. And even if you're already established, you want to expand, still, market research is very important. I remember some years ago, I don't remember the particular year, when DSTV wanted to hike the subscription prices for their products. What they did, they realized that that was when, what's it called, this channel, this provider by NTA, I think StarTimes just came in newly. And it was going to be a competition to DSTV. And when they wanted to hike price, they realized, all right, if we hike prices, we may likely lose a lot of our customers to StarTimes. So what they did, that was how they came about GoTV. So that if you feel satellite is going to be expensive, then you can opt for GoTV. GoTV is a competitor for StarTimes. And that was how some people switched from DSTV to GoTV. These were people that would have switched to StarTimes. So that's market strategy. So don't just take actions blindly. Please get your facts, get your data, make sure that everything you're doing is based on the knowledge that you have of that thing. Don't do anything blindly, or else you may likely get your fingers burnt. So it's very important. So let's get started. We're discussing basic market research. That was the topic I was given. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll. All right. All right. So, can you see my screen? What is market research? I just want to be sure that we are on the same page. Please, can anybody confirm that you can see the screen? What is market research?
Yes, you can see the screen.
All right. I just wanted to be sure. Thank you for confirming. So, what is market research? Right? What you do in market research is to determine the viability, right, or the appeal of a product or a service amongst consumers or prospective consumers. Like DSTV now, they already had the consumers. But they wanted to see the viability of a particular product. Then for that, my good friend, it was prospective consumers. He didn't have them. They were not yet his customers. So he was moving into a new market. So you conduct market research. And market research doesn't have to be esoteric. It doesn't have to be a fancy word for people that have PhD from Harvard University. No. Even as a small business owner, you can do your market research. How do you do your market research? You interact with your customers every day. You interact with your clients every day. You interact with consumers every day. And you can be asking questions. You put your ears and put feelers out there. Know what consumers think about your product or your service. What clients are saying, what customers are saying is very important. It's market research. You don't have to sit down and compile a big document with a lot of big words. No, that you don't have to be sophisticated like that. We're talking about basic market research. What you just need to do is that you know how your consumers feel about a product or a service, and how to make sure that you give them exactly what they are looking for. So it's very important that you do that. So it has to be very organized, right? It's about understanding the market. You have a product, you have a service, you need to understand the market. If you don't understand the market, you just be groping, like I rightly mentioned. So it's not good to grope. It's good to really understand. You have to be intentional about whatever you do. And there's no way you can be intentional about what you're doing unless you have knowledge of that thing, unless you're authoritatively knowledgeable about the market. And if you're authoritatively knowledgeable about the market, you know exactly how to go about doing that business. You know exactly the pain points for the consumers or for the customers or for your clients. If you know their pain points, you know exactly what they don't like, you don't do that. You know what they like, you make sure you amplify that. So it's very important for you as a business. If you want to succeed, there's this popular saying that the customer is king because he can get you fired. How does the customer get you fired? If you don't deliver and he refuses to buy from you, you're fired. So you have to give people exactly what they want. If there's a particular quality that they really appreciate, please make sure you give them that thing. I remember for some of us that are old enough, when cowbell came to Nigeria, they were doing 5 naira, 10 naira milk sachet. Before then, Peak was not doing that, but they realized, all right, there's actually a market. The average Nigerian consumer cannot afford the evaporated milk, the one in the tin, the liquid one. Maybe he cannot afford the big sachet. And they did their own. I think that time they were selling it for 15 naira. Right? So in the same manner, you have to understand the market. If you understand the market, you know how to segment the market, how to target different consumers with different purchasing powers. It's not everybody that can buy expensive things. So make sure you understand the competition. It's about having a competitive edge. Market research is about having a competitive edge. If you don't have a competitive edge, you're gone as a business. Even for the Nigerian economy, for example, we talk about exporting, that we want to export. And it's not just exporting for the sake of exporting. I remember when Aldo Ogbe was the Minister of Agriculture, and he wanted to export yam. It was a catastrophe. It failed woefully. You don't just export like that. All right, we're a major producer of yam. But when you're exporting, what competitive edge do you have in yam production? What makes your product unique? Why should people abandon what they have been buying to buy your own? You don't just export because you want to export. No. You must have a competitive edge. And if you ask for my opinion, Nigeria should not even try to export any food. We can hardly feed ourselves. That's why our food inflation is very high. So it's not a priority to export food. If we are trying to export, we should export where we have competitive edge. For example, we have a lot of graduates that don't have jobs to do. People are looking for teachers. We can hardly pay our teachers well. Where I come from, they pay a teacher as low as 30,000 naira per month. Somebody with first degree. That means his skills are not being appreciated. And despite paying that measly amount, some people are still lobbying to be employed, and they cannot find this employment. So why not export those skills? The UK is looking for teachers. Why not export those teachers? That's why you have competitive edge. Why should you export what you are lacking, what you don't have enough? It's not reasonable. So you look at what you have edge in, what you are competitive in. That's what you export. That's what you sell. Let's move to the next slide. Can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, we are.
Oh, all right, just to be sure. All right. So the crux, the raison d'etre for market research is that you're trying to find out from your customers, from your clients, from the consumer, what exactly he wants so that you can provide that. You don't produce something and then try to get buyer for it. No. Get the buyer first, then you produce that thing. I remember as a teenager, I had an older friend that was doing his NYSC. By the way, I'm from the north. And this guy was doing his NYSC in Bayelsa, right? So he realized, all right, what are the things that I can cheaply get up north that people in Bayelsa will really appreciate? Things like onions. They were cheaper. I don't know if they're still cheaper. I believe they're still cheaper up north than in the south. All right. Get a buyer, people that are interested, uptakers. Who are the people in Bayelsa that I can sell these onions? You don't just get onions from the north to Bayelsa, then you start looking for buyers. That's unwise. Get buyers, people that are willing to take that particular product from you first. Then you get the product. Because if you don't, you may end up wasting. These things may get wasted before you even get buyers. And sometimes there are cartels too. It's not like they cannot buy from you, but they have an agreement already with somebody. They cannot just switch. Why should they switch? What guarantees do they have that if they abandon their current supplier, that you can sustainably be supplying for them? So all these things are factors. So you don't just blindly start because something is needed, you just get that thing and you just start. No, it's not wise. Get the person that wants it. Get the person that needs it first. Then you get that thing. If there is a demand for something, when you supply it, then you're not likely going to lose out. But when there is no demand and you just supply it, I remember it was Thomas Edison that made this mistake too, 200 years ago. He supplied something when there was no demand for it. And all his years of research, all his years of invention, patenting and other things went to waste. And he learned that lesson in a bitter way. So he told himself that he will not ever try to produce what is not needed. For example, in Nigeria, somebody said, if we can get a leader, because the problem of power has largely been a major problem. It has proven our undoing. So maybe if we can get a leader that will fix that problem, we'll change Nigeria's name to that person's name. I know it's an exaggeration, but that's to tell you how important the problem of power is to Nigeria. Intellectuals, very intelligent, capable hands, failed woefully. People that readily come to mind, Fashola. Fashola said any serious government should fix power within 6 months. He was made Minister of Power for almost 4 years and he couldn't fix it. And there are many instances like that. So that's to tell you that there's a serious problem. And any person that can fix that will remain so important in Nigeria. Maybe, probably, even if you are not the president, you could become more important than the president. You know, it's about problem solving. But you really need to understand the problem before you can solve it. If you don't understand the problem, then you may not be able to solve it. So this quote from Seth Godin: don't find consumers for your products. Find products for your consumers. That's very important for you as a business. That's very important. I know there are people occasionally that have a product, they looked for consumers and it worked for them. But that's very risky. It's very risky. It's like gambling. You know, gambling, you may make a lot of money gambling, right? But that's a game of chance. Please, in market research, you're trying to avoid chances. You're trying to be the master of your destiny. You're trying to control the narrative. You're not leaving anything to chances. So don't leave anything to chances. If you're not leaving anything to chances, that means you must get a demand. You must get a consumer. You must get an uptaker. You must get the client or the customer for a particular product first before you supply that. And you see how successful you are going to be. Don't leave anything to chance. That's what market research is about. You want to be in charge of whatever decision that you're taking. So next page now. So why do market research? Right? Even if you have a fair knowledge of a particular market, you want to get a deeper knowledge of that market. You want to understand it even better. Right? So that you can fine-tune, if it's an idea that you have a strategy, you make it more nuanced, you make it more targeted to that particular market or that particular consumer. Right? So I remember there was a time I consulted for a government agency, and we went around the country trying to get the opinions of Nigerians about the auto industry. And somebody said, why are you going around trying to get the opinions of people about something when we already know what is needed? I told him, no. One may just be imagining that is a problem, but you have to actually ask people. Don't just assume, or maybe because of your knowledge of your interaction in a limited way, that's what people want. It's good you actually go out to the field. That's why going out to the field, nothing can beat going out to the field. Actually interacting with people, actually living a particular experience, nothing can beat that. So you go outside and actually get what people want. What do you actually want? What is actually needed? Making sure of that. Don't just assume. It's dangerous. Because when you assume, you're just playing a game of chance too. It's very risky. So you actually have to go to the field, sample opinions of people, and particularly make sure that your sampling is reflective of the population. I remember a particular company that tries to project or forecast election results in Nigeria, and they have been consistently working. And somebody will say, they only sample 3,000 people. How will 3,000 people represent 100 million Nigerians? It can represent 100 million Nigerians. What matters is that it is representative of the population. If you go and sample opinions in Lagos and Abuja alone, that's not representative of the Nigerian population. So you have to make sure that the sample that you're taking is representative of the population, right? And in a prorated way. If, let's say, the larger chunk of the votes in Nigeria come from Northwest first, then Southwest second, right? Then the least people that come out to vote in terms of voter turnout, the list is in the Southeast. I think the second list is in the Northeast. So if you go and give more weight to the Southeast and Northeast, right, while the larger chunk of the weight should be from Northwest and Southwest, then you are not going to have a representative sampling. So it's very important. Where is the largest chunk of the votes? Northwest. So that one should carry more weight. If you have 3,000 people that you're sampling, then we have 6 geopolitical zones. They should not be equal weight. The largest weight should go to Northwest. The smallest weight should go to Southeast. It's not because we don't like people in the Southeast or we love people in the Northwest more. No. It's about facts and data. If the data says the largest chunk is Southeast, that's where you should go to. So it's based on the data, it's based on the facts. It's not like because you prefer somebody ahead of another person, no. And if you're the person running, because market research also is not limited to maybe you're selling a goods, you're selling granules, or you're selling a particular, maybe you have a skill around a particular, maybe you have a teaching skill. No. Even to get voters to vote for a particular candidate, right, is also about research. It's about market research. You go to the field. So you have to make sure that everything is representative. Or else you'll be delusional. You'll be deceiving yourself that you have actually done research when that research is off. It's very important. So you need to fine-tune an idea. I remember when Donald Trump, it looks like I'm going into politics, but it's also part of market research. When Donald Trump was running for president, when he was about to run, they did a survey to find out, they sent out feelers to find out what the American people actually wanted. You see, some of the crazy things Donald Trump says is because research has proven that's what people want. Like building the wall to stop Mexicans from coming to America. That Americans consider is very important. So when he even launched his campaign, it was about attacks on Mexicans. It may look immoral, yes, but for a politician, he's looking for votes. I'm not encouraging that, but in the same manner, if you're trying to get to sell as a business, you have to give people what they want. What do people want? This is what people want. Give it to them. That's what matters. And that's how you sell. And like we say in Nigeria, that's how you blow. But the moment you give what you think, then, sorry, you may not get it right. You may just struggle in that business. But if you give people exactly what they're looking for, then success is going to be your portion. So you conduct market research to reduce risks. You don't want to take risks. Nobody wants to take risks unless it's absolutely necessary. And there are some risks that you can insure. Yes, you can do insurance for such, but there are certain risks that you cannot insure. You cannot insure the fact that if you go into business, you fail as a business. I don't think there's insurance for that. Anybody that knows of any insurance like that, please, you can tell us. You cannot insure you failing at a business. It's not an insurable risk. So what do you do about such risks? You make sure you have all the knowledge you need. You make sure you have all the capable hands that you need, so that the risks can be reduced to the barest minimum. Right? If you understand the consumer, if you understand what the consumer wants, fully understand it, and you pander to that, then you don't have to worry much about anything. Right? You need to understand the age, like somebody say in Nigeria now, if you do anything on social media, that means you're targeting young people, because the majority of people on social media are young people. But if you are targeting old people, let's say you're trying to sell something for old people, you don't go to social media. I'm not saying there are no old people on social media. No. What I'm saying, majority of them are not there. The majority of older people, you find them on TV. They listen to radio, they read newspapers. So if you're targeting them, go to newspapers. I don't buy newspapers now. My news, I get it from Google. I just Google all the media houses in Nigeria, and I get all the news. But that's somebody my age. People old enough to be my parents, they don't do that. They buy actual newspapers. They buy in the north, they buy Daily Trust. Right? That's the most favored media house up north. In the south, they may buy Tribune, they may buy This Day and others. I'm not saying those ones don't sell in the north. No. I'm just saying the most popular. So if you're targeting older people in the north, you go to Daily Trust. If you're targeting people in a particular section of the country, you go like in the western region, you go to the Tribune or you go to the Nation. So it's very important you understand. You have to be intentional. Don't leave anything to chance. That's what market research is about. Not leaving anything to chance. You want to be in full control of your territory. This is home turf for you. So if you don't understand your home turf, if you don't understand your home terrain, then somebody from outside will come and beat you at the game. It's just a matter of time. So you have to show that, yes, I'm the master of the game. That's the only way that we ensure your survival. So you need to understand whether it's about family, it's about wealth. If I'm trying to sell Lamborghini, I'll not go to my village or my home state to sell. I'm targeting buyers of Lamborghini in Nigeria. I will not go to I'm not go to my home state. Nobody buys Lamborghini in my home state. You come to Abuja, you come to Lagos. That's where you're going to likely find buyers for Lamborghini. You not go to all these states in the hinterland. How many people? Nobody buys Lamborghini. You're just wasting your time. There's this popular, I don't know, some of you might have come across it. Somebody that was trying to sell a particular product to Coke. When Coke came out newly, he wanted to sell Coke to Arabs. You know the way they read Arabic. Normally you read from left to right. Their one is right to left. So what he did was, he did an advertisement that somebody is feeling weak. Then the person took Coke, and then the person became strong. Right? And then the way they will read it is, the person is strong, the person took Coke, and then the person became weak. So that he failed woefully at selling Coke to Arabs. So you really need to understand your market. There's nothing that demonstrates the importance of market research like that. Apart from that story I told you about my friend that I met in Lagos, this also demonstrates the importance of market research. If you have done this market research and understood what it takes